Calling for me head.
But it's still all smiles, so after that.
Yes, yeah, no, I think we have to take a lot from our first half performance, particularly first 45 minutes. I thought that we restricted Arsenal to limited chances in that first 45 minutes. Had a good one of our own, fantastically well worked by Nathan Arnold. Great save by Peter Cech. Probably the timing of the goal when you get to injury time in the first half. In a game like this, you want to get in at half time if you can. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, and second half you saw what world-class players can do when they're confident.
That moment, Arnold's chance, and it's 0-0. It's the part you think this one's going in here. Cech pulled off that save. Were you thinking that's my moment?
Well, I think coming into the game that you're going to have limited moments. So I think when they do come around, you want to try to take them. I thought Nathan did brilliantly for it. I thought he worked it fantastically. He could have snatched at it, but he showed the calmness just to step inside. The goal opened up, and I thought it was a good strike that goes in the National League. But no, great save. You look at Peter Cech, and my God, his distribution. I mean, we press high, and we tried to press high from restarts. That was the plan, to try to press high from restarts. We knew we couldn't press them the whole game because they're just so good in possession. But we did well to press them like we did early on from our restarts. But even when you do that, he just clips that one out to the left fullback, and it gets them out. And it was second half. It felt like he brought 15 players on second half. and also that big clock definitely stopped at some stage in the second half, because that was one hell of a long 45 minutes for us. But
Did you fear for your side at some points in the second half? When the two
from about the first minute. Yeah. You do, don't you? Listen, there's a reason why they earn more than, probably double, maybe treble more than we do in a year, in a week. So they their week salaries will be more than our annual salaries, and there's a reason for that. They're world-class players, and people criticise Arsene Wenger and have criticised him this week. But anyone who really knows football, you see the way those Arsenal players move, and their method, and their understanding of each other's space, and tactically how intelligent they are. That comes from good coaching. There's no doubt about that. And you haven't got to watch a coach to know that they're very good at what they do. You can see that in the identity of a team, and you can see that in the team's game plan and the way their players execute it. And it was I'm not going to say great to watch, because it was tough to watch, but it was a football education for sure.
How much did your team talk change at half-time, Danny, after that goal from Wolves?
Not really, not too much. We just spoke about the fact that we knew it was going to get tougher. We understood that, particularly after conceding, because we knew that would give them the confidence to be able to then go and move that ball that little bit quicker, take that little bit more of a risk, which maybe they couldn't do at 0-0 with the backdrop of what had happened to them earlier in the week. But no, we wanted to try to stay positive, and it was very hard. It's really hard when you're playing against world-class players that run quicker than you, that jump higher than you, that are technically more efficient than you. It's really hard to stay positive and stay aggressive in your style. And it was just at half-time, we just felt that our two centre forwards who were working so hard and are so team orientated, we're getting deeper and deeper, and we were finding it hard as a consequence when we did turn possession over to get out. And if you can't get out, then you're allowing wave after wave of attack. It's a bit like a boxer being on the ropes, isn't it? You got your jukes up, but sooner or later you're going to get hit. And that was what it was. And we had managed to get a tactical timeout that we called them, in the second half, and I felt that helped us at that stage, and we just tweaked what we were doing slightly because we needed to, because we were getting hurt, and just allowed our widies to then get back in and become a 6 almost when they had the ball, because they were up from half time onwards. You can't defend Arsenal against the whole pitch. So when you're pressing them, you've got to try to make the pitch small. Once they beat your press, then you've got to try to get in a really tight mid-block with no gaps. We had to give up the sides because Arsenal want to play through you. So we knew we had to give up the sides at half-time. Credit to us and Wenger, they overloaded us in wide areas. We then had to become our widies had to come in, and we had to become a 6 and a 4, which we did. We were 3-0 down by then though. So, but this is it, isn't it? And this is for me, like I've just said to the players, we have to be inspired, of course, by playing at this wonderful football stadium against world-class players. But more than that, we've got to make sure that we take loads of learning from this. We've got to learn from this journey, not just today, throughout the journey. And if we can really, really learn and take something from what take something from playing against world-class players, then we'll be better footballers and we'll be better people as a result.
You've had a lot of attention over the last few weeks of this cup run. That's now over. Is that a relief, or will you miss it?
It'd be nice to see my kids, because I haven't spent too much time with them. The media attention is not why I started out in football at 3, 4, 5 years old. I started out in football because I love kicking a ball around and chasing after a ball. And it'd be nice to go back to chasing after a ball and kicking it. And it will be nice. I'll be glad to be fish and chip paper.
Danny, I've just been on the concourse with your fans, and they're all smiling, they're still singing, they're still delighted about what you've done. What's been the atmosphere down here with you and your team, Danny?
Well, can I just say this, because I did our supporters a massive disservice in the week, because I said that they were Premier League, but they were much better than that. Much better than that. Listen, you saw world-class players play today in the Arsenal team, but you also heard and witnessed world-class supporters, because that's how good they were. Because 9,000 of them outsung 51,000 Arsenal supporters today, and that is a fact. Brilliant they were. Ours. Well, we spoke together. I wanted to get them together after the pitch because I know what ours are like. They're winners and they don't like losing, and they're fighters. And I knew that there would be a part of them that would be hurting, and it was important for me just to make sure that they embraced the moment, and they put the disappointment of going out of the competition and losing a game of football, which we all feel because we're winners, but to put that to one side for a moment and make sure that they celebrate the journey. Listen, we'll never celebrate losing. We'll never be happy to lose. I don't care if I'm playing Arsenal or I'm playing Brazil. I'm never going to be happy I lose. But I do think, there's a reason why no non-league team in the last 100 years has got to the last 8 of the FA Cup. And I did feel on this one occasion, and it will be the first and probably the last time I ever celebrate after losing, but I did feel that this was the right time for our players to celebrate that moment with our supporters.
And what did you say in that little huddle at full time when you drew everybody together?
I just tried to give them some reality. I just tried to make sure that they realised what we'd achieved in the first 45 minutes. So that the second half we found it hard. A few people have said to me that we were unlucky with a couple of deflections, and that wasn't luck second half, let me tell you now. There's nobody we're hiding behind luck second half. That was world-class players at full throttle. And we did actually make some mistakes, but this is not a time to criticise. It was just a time for us just to reflect on what we've done, because the games have been coming so thick and fast that we haven't allowed ourselves a time to reflect. And I just felt, just on the final whistle, it was a good time to get us back together.
Dan, what have you learned most during this cup run?
What have I learnt most? I actually think that this cup run has massively accelerated our progress as a group. Everyone tells me it's a distraction. Everyone tells me it's going to hamper our league form. But let me tell you, it has given us a massive it's really fast-tracked our performance on the pitch, our method. When your method and your organisation gets tested against the very top players, then you learn so much about it. And we've learned today all of our weaknesses, they've all been exposed, and we'll be able to go away and we'll be able to watch the game back, and we'll be able to come back bigger and better as a result.
Is there anything you've learned as a manager?
Oh, I think you learn loads when you're managing against Arsene Wenger and the likes of Sean Dyche. If you can't learn in that environment, then you must be stupid. So no, for us, there's so much that we've learned. You know, I've learned to try to manage my time. I've learned to try to manage the media. I've learned to try to keep the focus on what's important. I've learned to be really resilient, and I've learned to be really durable, because it's people think you're living a dream, but unless you've lived it, you don't quite know what it is, and it's been 24/7. That is for sure. So no, I've learned that. I've learned to set my teams up against the very, very top players, and yeah, there needs to be more reflection, definitely, but I promise you, I'll be better for this. That's the fact.
There were some memorable moments today.